Hey guys, so here bringing you another video. Welcome back to Unranked to Master. So today we're going to hope to have a fun day. Maybe I actually should have got Ignite against Silas. I just realized, because again Silas has quite a lot of healing. Oh well. But yeah, hopefully we'll have a good day. The goal of today is just simply I'm going to play champions I enjoy or champions that make sense. But then I'm going to try and be educational about the champion itself. So talking about the champion's kit when I'm playing the champion, trying to do like kind of a gameplay guide. And what I could say is if there's a champion or a few champions that you guys, oh, that would be cool if Huzzy could do that on that champion, let me know in the comments what champion that would be. And we'll definitely could do this again. But Vladimir. So Vladimir, the reason why I picked Vlad isn't directly about my mid lane matchup. I was blind pick mid. But it was more, they had a Veigar, they had a Rengar. Also a Bard. So W, Sanguine Pool, I can avoid damage from a Rengar. If he goes to jump on me and I press W at the right time, I'm immune. Veigar Cage, I can slide underneath it. And Bard ult, if he ultimates try and CC me, if I W and it's up and, you know, on cooldown, I can avoid the Bard ultimate too, if I'm not mistaken. So those are all pretty nice. That's a bad death. See, this is the thing. When there's like a Rengar in the game, you can't be picked. Like the Yasuo maybe could have been here, but realistically, Viego was in no man. Viego was in no man's land here. You should either stand here or stand here, because if Yasuo isn't holding this off, which he wasn't, you need to adjust your positioning, and he didn't. That's the thing. In solo queue, should the Yasuo have gone over there? Yes, but it's solo queue. Players are not going to play the most perfect way in the way that you want that makes sense. Even in low diamond, people don't do it. So you need to play the best you can, or the thing that makes the most sense for you. Oh god. Monkaz. That literally did half health with me, and it was just a second part to his E, and a passive. Silas is a very strong champion. Does Vlad W stop tower shots? I believe so. See, I think I should have got Ignite in this matchup, but anyway, let's talk about Mr. Vladdy boy. I'm dead. His damage is just out of this world. Oh, that's crazy. So Vlad's, again, you have to remember old champions, just, they have basically, you can't compare old champion passives and stuff to new. So Vladimir's passive is very simple. For every ability power he gets more health, and for every health he buys, he gets ability power on certain ratios. And then Vlad's Q, point and click, it heals him, and then every now and then he gets an empower, and that means it does more damage, more healing. His W is the pull that he goes into the ground. He does take damage by doing it. All of his abilities, well, apart from Q, his W, his E, they cost health. So Vlad's resource is health. But obviously, he heals a lot. So it costs health to use his W and his E. But then his Q heals him back up. His ultimate heals him back up. So it's kind of like... Well, I don't know. Does Maud still cost health to use? Or is it all old Maud? But yeah, one of the Mauds, it might even still be current, costs health to use. Dude, what is Silas's damage? So again, that's just a comparison of like old champion versus new. The damage is just uncomparable sometimes. Jesus Christ. Don't want the Viego to like overfight. Yeah, one basic combo of Silas and I'm basically dead. But the thing with Vladimir, you scale amazingly well. So even if the earlier, well, it's the annoying thing, Silas scales immensely well as well, but for some reason he gets to have an immense early game. Not really sure why, but he does. But yeah, then his E is a charge. The longer that you hold it, the more damage it does up to a certain point. It also slows the opponent. And then his ultimate, this is a big thing that I think a lot of people miss out when it comes to Vladimir. So it's called Hemoplague. And a lot of people get the basic concept of it in terms of, oh, you have infect targets and then after a little while, a bunch of damage goes off. What people, I think, fail to realize, and it's what really irks me when it comes to Vladimir's sometimes, is like, you see a Vladimir on side lane split pushing, and you're like, that doesn't make sense. So every single target that is infected with Hemoplague, nice, they all take, so on current rank 1, if you look at the Vladimir creates the plague, causing its victims to take 10% increased damage from all sources for 4 seconds. So if you go into a team fight and you impact 3, 4 of the enemy, they all are taking 10% increased damage from your team. So that is where Vladimir has a lot of AoE damage, but he's also buffing up his own team when it comes to team fights. He is one of the best team fighters in the game, but then very often you'll see Vladimir just being top lane, split pushing. It's like, that doesn't make any sense. So I do think a lot of Vladimir's missed that basically. TBX05, 2-year sub club. Thank you very much, my man. That's desperation. So somehow, I don't even know how it's possible, a Vladimir has died to a Yasuo in a 1v1. Genuinely don't know how that's possible. And Vladimir is already looking to roam. That's a positive for us. It's a not confident Vladimir. So level 6, he might look for an all-in. How much am I getting ganked? I've had a Volibear here. I've now had a Bard here. Too many people. Rengar's now here. Mamma mia. Where? Why did he do that? Genuinely, what? That's weird. Is he going back? Because why... If he's going back, why would he use any... Like, use my ultimate if he's just going to go back? I guess he did it for wave clear? But there was hardly any minions. Obviously, the thing with Sylas when it comes to his design, by the way, Riot's had to be very open about it because of the nature of Sylas. Just to explain, he, as a champion, needs to be useful if there are no good ultimates for him to grab. And that's part and parcel of the problem of the champion of Sylas, because he is fundamentally incredibly strong with his passive Q, W, and E. The ultimate is a bonus. So Sylas is as strong as other champions without an ultimate. And that's where, if there is a good ultimate for him, that's very often where he's just pushed over the edge of strength and he just takes over. Nice, that's not too bad. 2 for 1? Yeah, 2 for 1. So yeah, it's kind of the problem with having a champion that steals ultimates, is if there are no good ultimates for him to steal. Yeah, I should have got Ignite. If I went back in time, I think part of my brain didn't realize I was fully against the Sylas, or I've realized a little bit too late. Bro. Just too much damage. It's just too much damage. Uh-oh. This isn't good. Yeah, enemy team got there a bit too quickly. But again, we're scaling. That's what we got to try and focus on.
I've got you under my skin.
Be good if we can get one, but I don't think. Yeah, our jungler. Ooh, unlucky. Well, I was blind picking mid lane. Would I have, would I have picked this matchup? No. But unfortunately, it's the matchup we get. And Vladimir obviously is, you know, he's supposed to have a very weak early game. Because the whole thing about Vladimir is get AP, get health. You're getting basically the best of both worlds eventually. So then you scale like an absolute monster with being a lot of health, a lot of AP, and then you can walk over people. But again, it's the weird nature of Sylas. He's not he's not an early game champion, but for some reason his early game is better than most early game champs in the game, and he has a very good late game. So it's very weird. He has no weakness really. Damn. We're losing sides now too. So Rengar is very fed. He's got no sums. Got no flash, and he'll go for some dumb engage because that's all he's done this game. Like, look, this is such an easy bait because he's just gonna keep going in. Oh. He nearly killed me still. Crazy. At least we got a kill. So you can use his over-aggressiveness against him partially. Crap. She needs to be careful, I'd say, of a Rengar ultimate. So I'm just going to go Cosmic Drive first time. It's literally perfect item for Vladimir. It gives AP, it gives movement speed, it gives health. It gives everything a Vladimir wants. Because Vladimir also very much likes movement speed because he's all about trying to like maintain DPS while casting abilities, running in and out of combat. It's kind of the whole shtick of this champion. So Cosmic is literally like the Vladimir item. Where are they all going? Are they going for a dive? So if your lane opponent's leaving like this, the best thing you can realistically do without having to roam and risk your own life is just push your lane as quick as possible. So there, just push as quick as possible, and it usually will force your opponent to come back to the lane. Maybe I shouldn't have used ultimate.
Please let it all out.
I don't know why my team kind of let themselves get caught there. Senna's got... Oh, she doesn't have flash. I'm gonna flash for that. We need to split up and look for clues. Alright, like, the lucky thing for us, we have a Viego. Viego is, when it comes to... Wait. Whoa, Bard's already got a dead man. So Bard has a completed item before I have a completed item as a mid laner. That's kind of insane. I think supports do sometimes make a little bit too much money to this day. I think Yasuo is outplaying the Volibear, but he's going for a dive. Again, diving a Volibear is a bit of a silly decision. He didn't need to do that. If he's gotten a Volibear that low, he's clearly doing well and he's clearly kind of winning the prio. So actively having... Like, actively going in. Oh, Rengar actually made a mistake. Nice. We should not have got that. I'm on my way. Rengar could be here. He is. Flash. This Rengar. That's funny. That's crazy greed of Rengar going for that, like, late invade. Even if it's cheaper, I don't think a support should be getting a first item before, you know, actual carries in the game. I think that's crazy. Are you roaming again? Silas isn't really focusing mid-mid anymore. We are starting to scale as Vlad, so he's not going to get as easy aggro on me. Did I say that? A champion. I might play a Silas game today. That's just mental. Why do we have a Nami center bot lane? It's solo queue. People don't play to be coordinated.
Let's pool our...
Did I have a nice nap during the race on Sunday? I did, actually. It was a very nice nap. We could easily gank this guy. I didn't think my Viego used his ultimate. Okay, he didn't. Ah, you took my... Why? Precious! Why did he take me cannon? So yeah, the nice thing about this... Oh, our top laner didn't move. Damn, he didn't move at all. Oh, god damn it, Yasuo. Bot lane got killed. So yeah, the thing with... I really think Riot need to bin the idea of Senna being an AD carry, because it never works. Ever. It literally, in the history of League, has never worked. She's never balanced as an AD carry because it simply cannot happen. You cannot have a support character that then can also play as an AD carry. It's impossible to balance. Just make her a support and be done with it. Get rid of the fantasy of making her an AD carry as well. It just doesn't work. But Riot still want to hold on to it for some reason, and every time they've tried to do it, it's always gone bad.
Deliciously vain.
Alright. So we're just kind of focusing on scaling. You know, you can see the clear difference of the strength of the Sylas versus Vlad. There's not really anything you can do. And that's just sometimes the world that you're in. There's not such thing as simply outplaying somebody when their strength is so much stronger. You just got to kind of sometimes accept it, focus on what you can, and what we can focusing as a Vladimir is we scale good. This Senna is really struggling though, unfortunately.
A vital decision.
What changes I want to see for Monaco next year? It not be on the schedule. Honestly, that's kind of crazy. He panicked so hard. I wasn't going for the kill there. I was just going to scare them, and well, it worked. Lame. Don't see how we can win. We scale good, but we're not working together as a team at all.
Your turret has been destroyed. An ally has been slain.
I mean, Rengar died just before Dragon. That's good at least. That's something. That Viger is actually really strong. Death Blade already. Okay, we need one more dragon until Infernal Dragon Soul. Maybe that's a win con. I mean, Infernal Dragon Soul doesn't automatically just win you the game, but it's obviously, it is good. Alright, you need to be careful of Rengar. Rengar ultimate is very low. Be a good Volibear kill if they can kill him, but this guy, by the way, he chose to play Yasuo into Volibear, which again I didn't think was a great idea. Yeah, but he willingly picked that matchup. I would not pick, like, fundamentally Volibear is a stat stick. I wouldn't pick something like a Yasuo that, you know, needs skill expression to win. I would not pick a stat stick to try and beat that. it's going to be very hard for a skill expression champion to fully beat a stat stick, especially in lane phase. Yeah, he's gone Grassy Undying. That's pretty normal. If he went a more aggro, like lethal tempo or something like that, he just simply wouldn't survive at all. Yeah, we just don't have an AD carry. So like, the enemy team doesn't have to be scared of our AD at all. It's, you know, it's a support center in essence. And I'm on my way, but I don't know how much we can do. Probably nothing. So they're gonna get this probably. They are on it. Yasuo's full health. He TP'd over to just go back. That's a weird decision.
My cup is half empty.
No risk of... Oh, they're doing Atakan? Oh my god. They did Atakan without... Wait, we got Atakan. Look, they did Atakan without a jungler, so he just walked up and smited it. That's crazy. Nice. That was a good steal. Well done. That's a bad decision by the Viger and the Volibear. I don't think my ultimate is the best one for him to steal, is it? What would you say is the best? Nami ultimate probably is the best one for him to steal. I don't think I can realistically side lane here. I think we have to get involved. Like the thing with the Vladimir, like I said earlier, I don't get Vladimir. You want to be as high level as possible as a Vladimir. Like if you get level 16, he's incredibly nice. He's incredibly strong. So that's why Vlads will look to side lane, because they're like, get me to level 16, get me ahead of XP of everybody, and I'll take over. But there is a limit of how much you should be doing that. And that's where I think a lot of Vladimirs just don't simply know that limit. Okay, Viego is starting to take over, which is lovely. We have the Volibear now. Okay, I'm actually going to do something crazy. I'm going to press Ghost. Ghost is something that you should sometimes consider using. Ghost doesn't have to just be something to... Nice. Ghost doesn't have to be something you have to use just in combat. I use Ghost there to get in there. Obviously, you don't always use Ghost just to travel, but there are examples when it is good to do so. So that's good. So we just get ourselves, was that 2 or 3 kills in that fight in total? 3, I think. Viger's starting to really position badly. And that champion is all about positioning. And now we go for Infernal Dragon and get Infernal Dragon Soul. Rocket Belt potentially could be good, because Rocket Belt also got buffed. So maybe I've missed a trick not going Rocket Belt, but I'm just kind of going the more standard Vlad build. Yeah, it was a non-official ace. Bring it out. The enemy team the Rengar has to go for a potential steal here. Because if we get this, well, Volibear's top lane, which is crazy. Oh, they didn't even go for a steal. That's bad by the Volibear to not group at all. So now we have this. We have the Infernal Dragon Soul, which is huge. Oh. Uh-oh. It's like Rengar's ulting. That must be warded.
My cup is half empty.
Oh, the enemy team's just falling apart. Do you see how much damage I did to that Rengar then, by the way? He nearly died. And Volibear is now panicking. Oh, I didn't even get there. Volibear's panicking when he's supposed to just basically be a side champion. So yeah, we've basically just taken over. Very nice. Hey, Nishiro. We could Baron, actually, yeah. If Rengar has gone top lane... I was going to say, like, Rengar could come here because he might want this red, but may as well take it for my team. Level 16, and that's an ace. That's their jungler dead, so now that's a free Baron. Enemy team is just completely bottled it. We do scale good, and that's what I said earlier, is when you scale good, you know you don't have to risk everything. But the enemy team just kind of got caught all individually, and that's basically where they've gone wrong. Osty Dev, 6 months of Prime says enemy team crashing harder than Dune at the start of the F2 race in Monaco. Oh, I didn't watch. Well, again, I watch F2 very limited. I'm definitely not going to watch it in Monaco because that's not a real race. Like, again, Monaco, just to say, it's not a race, it's an event. If you hear all the pundits, none of them call it a race. They all just say the event of Monaco because that's what it is. And it's not for us watching at home. It's for them who are there. Which is sad. I nearly got him. If I got one Q off there. Nice. If I got one Q off, he was dead. I didn't get one Q off. Lol. And that's why you pick Vladimir. So again, he literally can't engage on me. He engaged on me, he dies. There. You could just say this is a bit of a comp diff. We basically have two supports that are backing up a Viego and a Vladimir. And occasionally a Yasuo when he's grouping. Oh, I didn't get the one-shot. Nami took the kill. I was going to one-shot him. He's way too squishy with that build. So this is a good example of a game of the power of scaling. Look at that damage. I will say we also played well of getting to late game. Like, Silas kind of did everything in the early game when I was like, we'll just scale. There you go. Very nice. That Silas, I will say, like, he wasn't bad. His champion aggression was very, very, very high. I think in mid-game, the Silas kind of didn't know exactly what to do, and they weren't punishing eventually. They weren't punishing a Vladimir, you know? I got to mid to late game, and I wasn't being punished. I know my key's allowed. I like it. So, yeah. They kind of just stopped. Early game, the Silas was very punishing, and then they kind of lost their punishment, in essence. So, when you're not punishing something late game hyper carry like a Vladimir, he's going to end up doing well. But yeah, top lane basically irrelevant this game. Not even 10k damage from the Volibear, 12k damage from a Yasuo. Very low in top. But yeah, Mr. Viego mid-game took over. And then I eventually could just do some pretty good stuff. So overall, pretty good game. That is, again, a good example of holding on to late game if you know your scale. And that's why I also prefer late game champions. Because if you play an early game champion, it doesn't go good, you're screwed. If you play a late game champion and the early game doesn't go good, it doesn't matter. You're late game. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Unfortunately, I did not refresh Professor, so I don't have the data for the game. My bad. But yeah. If you guys did enjoy, please throw a like on it, throw a comment, throw a subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Welcome to the Rift, where the legends play. It's HuzzyGames bringing skill every day. From tips to tricks and play so fine.